Well, two former members of LSU's Phi Delta Theta fraternity were sentenced to 30 days in prison for their roles in the hazing death of freshman pledge Maxwell Groover. NBC Local 33's Kennedy Walker caught up with Groover's family just moments after the sentence was handed down.
Sean Paul Gott and Ryan Isto received the maximum sentence for hazing in Louisiana. They both will serve 30 days in prison and pay a fine of $100. Max Groover's parents say that though they are glad that the young men are serving time, they wish it was more.
For what happened to our son, that's not enough.
A little more than a week after Matthew Knockin was found guilty of negligent homicide for the hazing-related death of Max Groover, two other fraternity members learned today in the 19th District Court they'll be serving time in prison.
Hazing needs to end, and it needs to end now, and it's not going to be tolerated.
Before the judge delivered his verdict, Groover's parents gave an impact statement in which Groover's dad said Max was given poison in the form of 190 proof alcohol.
It's always difficult coming here, and we relive that night and the horrors of that night.
Gott and Isto were allowed to offer up their thoughts as well. Isto told the judge, quote, "I think about that night almost every day."
In a case like this, there are no winners. It's an awful, tragic case.
The judge said both men are directly responsible for Groover's death and that he believes the two men were not being remorseful. While Gott's attorney disagreed.
He is remorseful. He has been honest. And at the same time, he understands the gravity of this offense. He accepts responsibility.
Groover's parents sided with the judge, noting that the men apologized to the court and LSU before apologizing to them for the loss of their son.
They acknowledged us much later. I felt that, and that didn't feel good.
The judge ultimately sentenced both men to the maximum 30 days in prison. Gott's attorney said she was not surprised by the outcome.
I believed that this was going to be the outcome. My client was prepared for this outcome.
Now that both men are serving time, the Groovers hope that everyone learns from their son's tragic death.
Today's, sentencing, will send a message to the country that you don't haze them.
We all need to take care of each other and have each other's backs and be good people to one another.
For NBC Local 33, I'm Kennedy Walker.
And Kennedy tells us that Sean Paul Gott's attorney said her client does not plan to appeal the judge's decision. Ryan Ito's attorney did decline comment. As for Matthew Knockin, his sentencing is set for October 16th.